So where are we at with things right now? Few problems overnight, unfortunately. Created some more tasks yesterday, killed some things. This was the final review agent. It Yesterday I had a pretty interesting problem that arose and it hallucinated a ad campaign with a product that didn't even exist in the store, so that's a red flag. Another interesting thing it did was we have this Shopify token thing that it expires every pretty much every day. And that's been a consistent problem for our workflow. So what did the agent do? It pretty much created its own cron job to refresh it. And that's an interesting solution. So hopefully this is gonna solve the problem entirely. I'm not sure. We will see about that. But other than that, ads are still running. They're about to hit the stop loss. I think this thing hit or read the loss wrong. And another issue here I'm having is I'm trying to figure out why these cron jobs they are not sending the messages properly into the chat. I'll be debugging these things and in the meantime strengthening these cron jobs, and I figured I might as well just paste some of these prompts I have into into Claude or something and to strengthen it so we don't deal with this BS again, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna probably import a new product today, get an agent to work on that, and then set up probably a new product for tomorrow. All right, just a bit more frustrations. I basically got the bot to. I got more clear because I wiped out a lot of the memory file in the agents.md because it was way too overinflated. And after some research, best practices are you don't want to overinflate these files because they decrease performance. So you just want to keep them lean and mean and only keep the essentials, which points the direction where to go, and that's it. Now, in terms of the product research skill, it is still terrible on its own. And I'm trying to figure out how I can make this more data driven so it can find outlier performance, trend changes, or something, or emerging patterns. Because the last product it found, it was literally this. So I literally found that product. And if you're wondering what it is, it put it inside the deliverables, it generated some creatives, and I mentioned earlier, it hallucinated on the whole entire campaign as if it imported it. But I mean, at least the images were right, it's spot on, and I'm pretty sure it's this product here. It didn't even add the link, which is also another red flag. And that's kind of like the downside of using a pretty shit model, in my opinion. I wish I could use way better fucking models for this shit. But I mean, that's just the con. Nonetheless, you pay the price for what you pay for. You get what you pay for, you know what I mean? So I can't argue with that. But now the whole goal is to, like I said, I want to change how I fucking think with this agent, and I want to stop doing this shit myself. I want to direct it. I want to give it the goal. I want to give it the tasks, and I want to have it fully self-iterate itself and improve itself so it can run the store. It can find the best optimal product research strategy. It can then pretty much go on the platforms, test it properly, and we can move on from there. And yeah, bit frustrated with the product research thing because we need something to import, but we have a few products we can still set up for ads, and that's about all for now. All right, I got updated here real quick with a new interesting task. So first off, I have no idea how the heck this thing sourced this. I think it probably just like how did it even screenshot this? Maybe it found something online. Was this both taken at 7:33 p.m.? I don't know. But nonetheless, it somehow figured out and created these images to create a carousel. Not sure what all that's about, but it's pretty much it created 5 images supposedly plus captions to post, and it's trying to post. That's one thing it's trying to do. But in the meantime, we're still waiting for this bot to pretty much self-improve its own skill and get better. So we're still kind of blocked on a few things. It's been kind of slow today in terms of how much I'm getting done with this, just because of some personal things. But nonetheless, there is some momentum, and today is mostly just more autonomy on the bot and letting it do some of its own things. Now, thing I'm upset about this here is that it literally just hallucinated and just created some BS. You know what I mean? It hallucinated a whole entire freaking product out of nowhere. And oops, delete the whole column. It literally hallucinated and just created some BS, but created a new ad campaign, so hopefully that will go up for tomorrow and get some sales. The new campaign, unfortunately, I had to toggle off. It just totally flopped. I wasn't getting the metrics, and it was just, we were just hoping for it to gain sales when really it just freaking can't right now. You know what I mean? So we don't want to hope. We just want to make decisions off data. You know what I mean? So I had to toggle that off, but nonetheless, still making some sort of progress. I think the next step would be to give it some sort of API access to TikTok. That's kind of blocked on my end right now. I think that it would be pretty interesting to see whether or not it can start posting things. And it created some, okay, so like once again, like stupid hallucinated product right here. It's from yesterday. It did kind of piss me off, you know what I mean? But this thing, we can delete that. So you can see here that we pretty much gave this thing tasks and it's doing shit, you know what I mean? Shopify theme access. But I think the bot does have theme access, which is interesting. Stock countdown widgets, interesting. I'm gonna prompt the bot and say, hey, why don't you just edit the theme code? You can edit it, like this is all within your scope, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna prompt the bot, let it work on some of these things. I'm gonna look into the API TikTok posting thing, maybe something on like Buffer or something to give it access and see if we can actually start posting some content on our page, which would be pretty interesting if you ask me. So we just got the bot integrated with Composio, and if you don't know what Composio is, you can pretty much authenticate a bunch of skills, you know what I mean, with whatever for the bot. And as you can see here, I didn't do that. It just added these tasks, put it into the done. And I think this might be an easier way how to manage tasks and stuff like that moving forward versus inside Obsidian. But the bot is literally adding this stuff here, and I think it's just something useful, you know what I mean? So we got it, we created it as a skill, and now it knows how to use the Composio Trello integration for creating tasks. So just a quick little updatey. And I told it to pretty much import the same exact structure as we have in our tasks into here and still doing some things. It's currently adding some sample tasks just to kind of look at, you know what, I'm just going to put this all here myself. I told it to reorder it, but it's just being kind of annoying. Anyway, but here is pretty much the structure of our board. And yeah, it's pretty much, all right, so that's obviously the bot, but I feel like this is more, I guess you can say organized and more easier for the eye, especially for like me to move things around, because damn, it's so freaking annoying. You know what I mean? And overall, not bad, you know what I mean? I think it's going to make the file a lot easier to manage, but nonetheless, you know, we're giving these bots tools and now they're just becoming more powerful, just letting it evolve with us. You know what I mean? So this is, I think, a better way how you can manage perhaps your tasks and stuff like that. Fortunately, no sales today. Quite unfortunate. Haven't gotten any sales in about over a week now, basically a week. Honestly, I was hoping for something to come in by now, but right now we're about $450 in the red. If you factor in the sales, probably about 400, but this doesn't also include token costs to even like run this even with the AI. So if you factor in tokens, the VPS and some other things, probably runs it up to around $600 in the red, somewhere around there. And yeah, you know, I mean, it still didn't kick in the the subscriptions and things of that nature from like Auto DS or whatever. So there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things in my mind right now in terms of how to proceed with this. You know what I mean? And I may mention something very soon about what's going on personally and how I'm choosing to move forward about this whole thing here. Because on one hand, I really do want to run it, but at the same time, it's like this thing just putting me hella in the red, and it's a bit hard. You know, what I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit hard, but I do feel it's very possible in near term. The only constraint right now is just literally the product and finding something that sells, and then I can scale it. You know, I mean, that's literally the only constraint right now. And then the other constraint is just sometimes the AI agent just does some stupid stuff. You know, what I mean, some stupid stuff with the Kimi 2.5. But nonetheless, you know, what I mean, can't hate it. I love these things. They're amazing. They changed my life. They changed a lot of people's lives. And thing is, you just have to figure out how to learn it, adapt, and make them better. And yeah, this is just sort of late night, some late night thoughts. But yeah, gonna let you guys go, and we'll check back in tomorrow.